G'day good people. I just wanted to jump on and give a quick overview of my Pseudocode tutor again because it's very exciting time. We're just about to drop the technical preview release. So that basically means some of you lucky people are going to get your hands on this software and you're going to be able to give us some feedback and any contributions you'd like to make. So I want to just do a really quick run through at this client for anyone who's not completely familiar with it. I'm going to show you the way the server's heading. And yeah, I'm just super excited with some of these features and how it's working at the moment. So I'll just quickly run through this interface. On the left hand side here we've got all different topics on Pseudocode and what to learn. So if I expand that by double clicking on one of these or using that little arrow there, there's a series of questions. Now obviously this is going to grow a lot. I only have got a very small subset of questions at the moment just for testing, but if we click on one of those, for instance, we have a question here. Greet the user by reading in their name, then outputting hello name, where name is what they input. Now you can see I've already got an answer in here because I've done this question before, but if I hadn't, I'd type out that code, I'd click run tests, and this has passed all the tests. So basically what this means is it runs that code with different sort of inputs. So it's run it with Harry, Gary, Sally and Mary. It expected to get out hello Harry, hello Gary, hello Sally, hello Mary, and that is in fact what it got it back, so it's all correct. If I change this now and just said hell instead of hello, well then it's all going to fail because the actual output is different from the expected output. So I'll just fix that up there. So also if I leave out some tag like this and run it, then I'll get an error message that says missing end token, missing begin token, or whatever the error happens to be. So it not only catches syntax errors but also catches through these tests any logic errors. So your code might actually be legitimate, perfect syntax code, but your algorithm's not correct. So this catches both. And you can go through all different sort of challenges of what you can do here. We'll have a look at the for loop here. So input a list, so we can do things like input things. So that's inputting an array into a variable called numbers. We're going to use a for loop, so we set the index to 0 and then to the length of the array that we've given, and we set total to total plus our current number. So we're adding all the numbers in the list to get the total, and we're stepping by just one. If we just say next index, we're just stepping by one. If I went next index plus 2, then I'd be looking at every second item in the list, but that's not what we want. We want every item in the list, and so that runs just fine. Now depending on which section you're in, if you hit topic lesson, I'm under the for loop section. So if I hit topic lesson now, I get a lesson on for loops and how you actually write the for loop, what the syntax is and how it uses it. So if I was back here in branching and I hit topic lesson, then I get a lesson on branching and some example code on how to do branching. Alright, if I want to see my progress, well, I've gone through and filled all these out. As you can see, there's not many questions at the moment. We're just here for testing at the moment. It's technology preview, and this will all fill out with lots and lots of questions, and you can see, well, I've done them all successfully. And in the last video I was telling you how excited I am about this scratch code. So if I open this up, I can just write whatever code I want. So I'm going to do something here. I'll just say set my array to, and I'll just give a bunch of random numbers. Yeah, no, I think that'll do. Okay, so actually I'll just do a couple more after that. I'll do, what number haven't I done? I haven't done 5. That'll do, I guess. Alright, so if I have this list of numbers, and what this algorithm's going to do is it's just going to find out what the smallest number in there is. So I'm going to set minimum to the first item in my array. So I'll set that to index 0. And then I'm going to write a for loop to go through all of them. So I'll say for index equals 0 to the length of my array. So that's how my for loop's going to run. I'll say if the, well, better use a capital if my current item, which will be where my index is up to, is less than minimum, and then I I want to set minimum to my current item in the list. So that should go through everything. I've got to end my if there. And for my next, I want next index. Okay, so that will go through every item in the index. If a number is smaller than the one that I have set to currently to minimum, then it resets it. And then I'll just output smallest number is my minimum. Alright, I'll give that a run. Have a look what the output is. Smallest number is 3. So that algorithm works. And you can test any sort of pseudocode you want in there, which is really exciting. So now I want to just switch over to the server side. So when you run this, you would have been given a server to access and a class code. So if I have a look at what our server's doing, we're now on mydigitaltutor.com.au. Now this is going to handle my pseudocode tutor, but in time it's also going to handle my query tutor and any of the other software that I'm going to release. So I'm not going to give any spoilers, but yes, there's some more software to come. And the exciting thing about this is not only does it track a particular class, so here I've called this class pseudo tester. That's the code that you give to your students. Don't try and use this one because I'm about to delete it anyway. It will tell me what students are enrolled. It'll show me their progress, all the usual things. It'll show me progress by question or progress by students. I can look at their actual code that the students have written as well. So if I go in there and, oh, wait a minute, maybe that one we haven't got running yet. No, we haven't got that one running yet, but that will give a detail of all the actual code and how many attempts a student has done. But this is the part that's also quite exciting. If we say new classroom, I can call this whatever I want. I can call this whatever I want. We'll call it Year 12 class, for instance. And you can select whether you want it to be a My Pseudocode Tutor repository or a My Query Tutor repository. And you just set that classroom up. So if I say My Query Tutor, well then I've got one here. If I look at the details, it tells me it's a My Query Tutor repository. So you'd give that code out for that one, and you'd give out the other code for your My Pseudocode Tutor class that you have. And you have multiple classes. You can manage teachers. That's all coming in the future. It's not there right at the moment. We've disabled some of that because we're still working through some features in there. So now I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to delete it. So it's just as simple as deleting. You want to be very careful and make sure that you did want to actually delete it. And yeah, that's a tour of the server. And so between our client and server, we can track students, we can learn pseudocode, we can practice pseudocode ourselves, we can sync with the server. So that's nice and green now, so that means that's on the server. So if I went to a different machine, I could get all my progress back. I've got lessons and I've got progress. So yeah, overall, really happy with this. I can't wait to get it into the hands of all those My Query Tutor subscribers out there and get your feedback, what sort of algorithms you want included. I've only left it very minimal at the moment because I really want to see what everyone wants. I want to include the content that is really going to matter to you and your students. So when you give me that feedback, we'll populate this, we'll do some better lessons, a whole bunch of algorithms right up to and including all the things you want for exam prep. Okay, so again, super excited. Can't wait for you guys to start receiving your emails and be invited into the technical preview program. Enjoy.